Okay, so I'm gonna be recording this very quickly because the sun is still out and it's gonna go out sooner or later. So anyway, it's NaNoWRIMO, everyone. Finally, it's here. I've already got several thousand words. Actually, I got about 1,000 something words on day 3. Um, I know it's a kind of slow, but that's because I had a slow start. I've been trying to rewrite my entire novel of the Shurian trilogy, the first book, and there's been a lot of rewrites, if you will, because I had to add in some new characters that are older than the main antagonist, and on top of that, I had to plan some other stuff out to, trickle down. Changes have to be made since I'm taking a page out of Brandon Sanderson's book, if you will, on how he writes his novels. Like, you have the Cosmere universe, and you have several different series that are stories all on their own, but you also have characters that sometimes, like, pop by and say, hi, then, I'm from this book. Yeah, I'm here, and then I'm going to be out now. It's basically like that. There's 9 books in the series. I think I mentioned this before. 5 focusing on modern day, if you will, and then you have 1 which is a standalone, and then 3 that is a prequel set several, like 1,000 or so years before the modern day. So that's interesting. And how do I describe this? Well, this video is a part of a series, if you will. It's going to be having multiple parts. The next part is going to be within a few more days, probably when I'm at my grandmother's house. And I'm going to be telling you guys about how I came up with the story idea, my process on developing the story, and how I just do everything. Starting with, how did I get the idea? So it happened 2 or 3 years ago on Preptober. Thunder. This actually like perfectly timed for Halloween. Thunder right on like Preptober. So yeah, on October 1st, 2 or 3 years ago, I wanted to write a novel, but the idea grew from being a 1 book story to being a giant series, and it just started growing from that. Um, it came from I think it was when I first watched Abby Emmons' video on story ideas on getting brainstorming, and I had just recently, before that, I had just recently watched Cinema Therapy's video on Bella and Edward's romantic relationship, which is very toxic. Like, it's a field of red flags. Like, you know that field that Edward and Bella lay in and bask in the sun at? Yeah, ignore the flowers and acknowledge the red flags that are just scattered across that field. That is their romance. And they see it as, oh, it's beautiful flowers. So yeah, I was like very, very, very shocked and a little shaken because I actually saw their romantic relationship as the be all end all, if you will. Like, I wanted that kind of relationship where he would just lovingly gaze at me as I sleep and such. But then you also have, oh wait, Edward is breaking into this girl's room, staring at her without her consent while she slept. Like, if this is like him just admiring her, and they're a couple already, and they're just like, living together, that would make sense because they live in the same house, they live together, they probably share the same bedroom. If he wakes up first and then just like admires the beauty that he has for a girlfriend, then fine, that's fine. But no, it's at a time when she's questioning if he even likes her, and he's like giving her like mixed signals, and it's a mess of a relationship. And it's not even, and it's the same for Jacob. Like, the girl doesn't like him, and yet he just forces a kiss on her. Like, it's messed up. And so I was thinking, maybe we can do that. Like, have 1 be a friend, 1 be the bad boy guy who comes in, And then there's a final one, a final romantic interest that's like, yeah, it's messy. Yeah, it's not like all rainbows and sunshines and perfection embodiment, but it's real and it's raw and it's good because they are like they work things out. When they have an issue, they work things out and all of that. So I wanted the future generation, when I write the book, to be able to tell red signs, like the red flags, the warning signs, early on just by reading my book, to see that, oh, wait, this very action this guy does to me, kind of thing. And it's just, I really want the, like, I know it's like really adult topics for teenagers and probably like, you know, mid, like, what's the tweens, I think, like, you know, kids who sometimes like read ahead, like read young adult novels just to, like, you know, see what it's like to be a teenager. Well, this is gonna be really adult topics where you're gonna see gaslighting, you're gonna see grooming from a century-year-old vampire on a teenager, which is creepy. And then you also have manipulations. You got all kinds of stuff that just goes wrong in the relationship. And so that's basically what I'm planning on doing uh, for that series. And then it just started spiraling some more. I started thinking, oh wait, there's George R. R. Martin's story that is rich with depth. It has histories upon history upon history. And it's like has many books and it's thick. It's like chonkers. Like I'm pretty sure it makes my Six of Crows books that it dwarfs it. Probably dwarfs it because of how thick they are. They're chunker. They're beasts. Yeah, they're dragons in of itself. Um. So yeah, I started thinking, okay, why not try to do that? I grabbed the idea of like writing the history, but then there's also the Fire and Blood book, which tells the story on the Dance of the Dragons and what happened during that time. And thought, hey, why not try to do that? But put it into a book that says the story of the past. You know, like how everything came to be. Why is the modern day the way it is? That kind of thing. But then it started spreading again. Like this is like what you should expect from your development of the stories. It just like starts spreading out from the original core idea to being just huge. Like for example, like going back to the Revolution series, it originally started, like I said, from a Twilight idea. Let's take the Twilight relationship and put like the change the characters a bit with fairy tale elements. So I took the idea of Snow White. I heard Neil Gaiman had wrote a story that Snow White was a vampire, I think. And so I took that, put into the story, and then made it into like a sci-fi medieval story, and then started spinning it again. And it went from sci-fi medieval to World War II kind of timeline, mystery, murder mystery thing, has a dark academia aspects. And then it went from that to being focused in Ireland, kind of. Has a Celtic myth kind of aesthetic to it. And then it went from that to French Revolution. But then I was like, okay, I can't put it in France as much as I would love it. Let's put the French Revolution. What would it be like if the French Revolution happened in Ireland? So that happened, and then it changed again to being something else entirely, to being set in the Renaissance era in Italy, or is it Venus? I don't know my geography. It's like my history and geography. I know what happens, but I don't remember where it happens. So that's me. Um. So yeah, that's how it like started spreading. It just grew and grew and grew, and it just keeps on growing. This is just how it is for stories. It just keeps on growing, growing, and growing, and it's it's actually quite incredible to bear witness to my own creation coming to life and just growing like how you would expect a child to. Like it goes from being in the womb, like being a little fetus in the womb, and you don't know how they would turn out as, and then you're watching the child that you birthed to be growing as someone you don't expect. You know, sometimes they can be, you raise them in one way and then they turn out some, and you expect them to be this way, but then they turn out to be something else entirely, and yet you're still so satisfied in watching the how they grow as an individual. That's how I feel with my stories and my characters. Like the names keep changing, but it's the core of who they are. It remains the same, and it's just incredible. And I keep on adding like new anything I find interesting in other stories. I like to add it onto my into my books. Like sometimes it's from myths, sometimes it's from songs, sometimes it's from modern day events, and sometimes it's from history itself, and sometimes it's from games or books or shows or movies. It comes from everywhere where I just keep on adding, and it just keeps building from there. And it's just, it's so satisfying to bear witness of the progress that I'm making. Um, so yeah, that's how it came to be. The story on how my book series just keeps developing. Next time I'll be telling you guys a bit about the vampires and the world itself of the 9-book series. I really need to name the world. How do you name a world? Like you have the cosmic, you got the Grisha verse. How do people come up with these names? Like, ugh. But yeah, I'll be telling you guys about the characters of the world. I'll be telling you about the world itself and how I just like build and change, how it like grew. Like right now you know the idea of it, but you don't know how like I just started building on the characters and mythological creatures and all of that. So that will be next time. So thanks for watching, you guys. It's been interesting. Like so far, as I mentioned, it's been interesting ride in the NaNoWRIMO. It's been interesting. And I'll see you guys next time, like probably tomorrow or the day after. So yeah, love you guys. Stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and like and subscribe. That I believe that's a YouTuber thing to do. So like, subscribe, comment down below, and ring the notification bell icon so you don't miss out. Bye.